aces. Oh, my lads, you should have seen them running. Asked them why and they replied, the Bolton boys are coming. All the lads and lasses, smiles upon their faces, walking down the Manny Road to see the burning aces. Lads, you should have seen them running. Asked them why and they replied, the Bolton boys are coming. All the lads and lasses, smiles upon their faces, walking down the Manny Road to see the burning aces. Oh, my lads, you should have seen them running. Asked them why and they replied, the Bolton boys are coming. All the lads and lasses, smiles upon their faces, we're walking down the Manny Road to see the burning aces.
Hello and welcome back to episode 4 here at Wanderers Weekly, fresh from yesterday's goalless draw with Colchester. I'm joined once again by our new co-host James O'Doherty as we delve into yesterday's Wanderers performance and much more. James, how are things with you, pal? Not a great result yesterday, but we spoke about it in our previous episode that we were heavily tipped to win the game. Colchester just one win in the last 21 games, so they were there for the taking, but it was a bit more than that. It wasn't great from us, but I know they were time wasting even in the first half. They didn't come there to even win the game. They just came there to get a point, I reckon.
Yeah, well, and fair play to them if you think about it. I mean, they are close to relegation, but they're still 4 or 5 points off. So a point to them is absolutely huge. I mean, I'd expect us to do the same really in their situation. So fair play to them, really. But yeah, it was a disappointing result. And after the game, I was a little bit annoyed, fair to say the least. But I think given the results that are going our way or have gone our way when this goes out, you really can't complain because we are still third with 64 points, which is absolutely amazing, given the context of where we were 2 months ago. And I mean, I said last week that Colchester was a must-win game because it's one of our easier games, and yeah, I still stand by that. But it isn't a season-defining moment. All it means is we're going to really have to pull out the stops against better teams such as Newport on Monday.
Yeah, you mentioned the results going in our favour. Now that's a bit of an understatement, to be honest. Because Cheltenham have actually 4-0 up on Tranmere, and the teams from 4th right until down to 8th have all lost. So in terms of luck going our way, I think that's as good as it gets, isn't it?
I mean, results could still change from when we're recording this, technically, but I mean, from 4th to 8th, that is. I'm looking at it on the league table now with the live fixtures, and it's absolutely... You couldn't have asked for anything better, to be honest. And you made a good point before we started as well. The goal difference that Tranmere are losing and Forest Green are losing from the heavy defeats is absolutely crucial to us. Tranmere are now on equal goal difference to us, which that could be season defining.
Yeah, we'll speak a bit more about the game in depth later on, but it's just made Monday's match with Newport that bit more important. That yes, we did lose the game. It's disappointing for the lads, disappointing for the gaffer. Things didn't go our way in the game in terms of the officiating and things like that. But it's in our hands again. It just makes that game on Monday that bit more important.
Yeah, well, being in the automatic promotion places without any of the teams below us having an obvious game in hand means that we. It just means that it's all in our control. We have to drop points for other teams to take over us. And that is a positive. That is a really big positive. I really, really hoped we could be 3 points clear instead of 1 point clear after today. But it's still looking good overall. I mean, the way this Tranmere score is looking, we could be clear by Monday if we win at Newport.
Yeah, I brought up in last week's show about the inconsistencies of teams in our league. I think that's coming to fruition today with the amounts of results that are going in our favour. I also spoke about the lack of consistency in the officials, and that's come to light in today's game as well. Let's just firstly speak about the goal Owen Doyle scored that was disallowed for offside in the first half. I've looked at it back many times now, and we'll look at it further in a minute. I will show a clip of it in a second or two, but I can't see a great deal wrong. And Ian Evatt, after the game, didn't see a lot wrong with it either. He was the players are rather disappointed, and if that goal is given, then that is a completely different game. I mean, the changes were made in the second half. They probably wouldn't have been the same decisions that would have been made.
No. I mean, my initial reaction from the goal was I wasn't too outraged because when I first saw it, I thought it's very likely that was offside. But looking back at it, it is a bit more 50-50. I mean, I don't think it's as clear as some of the other decisions that have gone against us in recent months. But it could have been given. On another day, it definitely could have been given. And I mean, you said game changing. I say season changing. Because 2 points at this stage could be absolutely crucial. So yeah, I mean, it is a shame that I didn't go in. I know Doyle had another good chance where the keeper parred it above out the net. It was just one of them days. It just didn't go our way. I do think we were poor overall, but I don't think the referee decision was as bad. Then again, we haven't got a good camera angles, have we? We've got the stationary iFollow camera, so who knows? A different camera angle could give us a better view.
Yeah, in terms of assessing the two halves together, I thought at half time I was quite happy the way we played. I mean, with large spells of possession, nothing clear cut in terms of chances, but we were creating several sort of 50-50 opportunities, and Owen Doyle just couldn't get a clean connection on his shots. But they started growing into the game towards the end of the first half. Colchester started to come back into it. They had a few half chances themselves, but at half time, what were you thinking? I was thinking that, yeah, we've done okay. We've had large spells of possession. We've just got to increase those intensity levels and just get in behind them.
I mean, at half time, I was thinking this is just a replay of Port Vale, or I can't think of another example, but a replay of these games that we've had where we've gone in at half time struggling, but at the end of the day, we've done really well and we've succeeded. So at half time, I was pretty positive like you. I thought, this is going to be a repeat of Port Vale. It's a tough game against a team in the relegation scrap. It's going to be okay. However, in the end, at the end of the game, you just knew it wasn't our day. It just wasn't a good result at all, being frank. But in the end, it has been not as bad as we thought compared to the other results that have gone our way.
Yeah, I think where the disappointment stems from is we're playing a team that have won one game in 21, and in that game, Ian Evatt said in his post-match interview, which we'll show shortly, that they didn't come there to win the game of football, and that's what's frustrating. He's saying the officials need to clamp down on it. The time wasting if you're time wasting in the first half of a football match, then what have you gone there for? They've just gone there to get a point. They've not had a single shot on target in the entire game. Matt Jukes has had absolutely nothing to do from that point of view. We've had 69% possession to 31. We've had 4 shots on target ourselves, so I know it's not a great deal of shots on goal. Owen Doyle, like as we said, had a few half chances. Sean Miller had a great opportunity near the end at the back post with a decent effort. But what did you make in terms of our creativity in creating chances?
Well, I tweeted this at half time. We're missing Sarcevic really, really badly. I really do think he's the kingpin of that attacking midfield. I was not convinced by Arthur at all. I love him. He's the king, and he gets us late goals. But I'm not sure about him starting after today at all. Is Grove Delfonso? I highlighted this last week as well. He's definitely the weaker part of the pitch, and today that definitely showed. I don't think we created anything really. That was too threatening. There was never a point, maybe except from this disallowed goal, that I got up at my seat thinking we'd scored or we were about to score. It was just all, this has gone wrong, this has gone wrong. Nothing ever seemed to come off for us, and I don't really know why. I don't know whether Colchester were just pressing us really well, because I think they definitely were, to give them some props. But Yeah, it was a tough one. I can't really pinpoint the exact area that's gone wrong, but I definitely know we're missing Startovich today.
Yeah, it is something that I tweeted out this afternoon after the game, actually, that it was a game that was crying out for Anthony Starcevic. His figure in the middle of the pitch, his vocal intent, and just his tenacity to get on the ball when he's off it and win possession back, but also get the lads up for the game when they're feeling down. I mean, another thing that Ian Evatt said after the game was that after 70 minutes, the lads were feeling deflated, thinking this isn't our day, and they were. I'm not saying they gave up on trying to score, but they were looking less and less likely that we were going to score as the longer the game went on.
Yeah, which has been a bit of the opposite of what we've seen in recent weeks. Like in recent weeks, we've been thinking, well, we're definitely in a bag of late one. We always do against these poor teams. That's just the mindset we've been in. I mean, that's the mindset I was in at half time. But today, I mean, you could tell around 80 minutes, 85 minutes, you just knew this was a 0-0. I mean, God forgive. There were a few little chances Colchester had that definitely could have just tipped the bar and gone in, and that would have been an absolutely dreadful performance if that was the case. So we were lucky that that didn't happen. Not that I think it was likely to happen, but yeah, I mean, it I, it isn't a very good thing that the heads drops after 70 minutes, and I do think that is something we have to work on. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one today. I don't really know why it didn't work. I don't. I just think we're missing the skipper. His leadership, his hard work, everything he gives us is really important. I do think that that will be a position we have to strengthen, no matter what league we're in next season.
I think the most important aspect now heading into Monday is to put this disappointment behind us in a positive light in terms of, all right, we've had a bad result, let's come out firing next game. And sometimes the negatives give you a lift in terms of, right, you've been down there, you know how bad this feels, now correct it and don't feel like that again. And it's how we respond from this now headed into Monday. Because if we put out a real statement on Monday with a good performance and a win, then obviously today's game will feel irrelevant.
A win at Newport will absolutely change our perspective on today's game because it almost makes it acceptable. Because a draw is the end of the world taken out of context, but in context against a team like Colchester, it does seem pretty bad. If you swap the results and draw against Newport and win against Colchester, I would have taken that at the start of the week definitely. So I win against Newport is really essential right now. I mean, it is worth noting as well that all them games have gone our way. Just I'm just watching the live results now. So yeah, all them games have gone our way. Obviously, our audience knows that already. So yeah, that is good, and so that to me, the win against Newport is even bigger. Just really creating that gap between us and fourth is absolutely crucial because I think everyone would take third at this point. From what we've been through, from the start of the season to the middle of the season, when it just looked like we'd been a survival scrap, never mind an automatic promotion scrap. I really do think that there's not a single person that wouldn't be displeased with third, and I can't wait for the end of this season. It's going to be so exciting, especially compared to what we've had in recent seasons.
You spoke about results going our favour. Away from Bolton Wanderers, who would you say that the most dangerous team is, or the biggest threat to us in the league? I would say Cheltenham, because they've had a very, very good win against Tranmere, a 4-0 win, absolutely rampant on fire. And they had a great game against Manchester City in the FA Cup, if you remember as well. They threatened City for 70, 80 minutes when it was 0-0. And they are a really, really strong outfit. And I think they'll be in the top three come the end of the season. And they are a very tough side. And a good friend of mine, Alfie May, actually plays up top for him, and he scored today. So congrats, Alfie, for that. But yeah, in terms of other teams, just who would you look at as the most dangerous opposition?
Yeah, well, I think Cheltenham is a good show. They are only 2 points behind Cambridge with a game in hand on them. So I mean, they could definitely be champions into the season. I don't really know. I mean, we've done well against Cheltenham this season, and we've done well against Cambridge this season. I mean, it's Tranmere who we haven't done well against, but then again, they're a bit of a lame duck at the moment. I think we are the most dangerous team in the league, but aside from us, I think Cheltenham is definitely a good shout.
Yeah, I follow a guy called Gab Sutton. He's like an EFL expert, and he is actually even now he still actually tips us to win the league. I suppose if you look at the projected points as how many points you've got on average over the season, right to the very end, I think we are inside the top two. But what we spoke about last week about keeping level-headed and taking each game as it comes, that's what they've got to remain to do. They can't look too far ahead.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, our league position is still very, very vulnerable. It's only really our form that's given us our confidence, like the fans' confidence in us getting automatics. I mean, our league position. Morecambe, Tranmere 1 point behind us, and Forest Green and Morecambe are only 2 points behind us. So I mean, that could change in a game week. We could go from third to sixth in a game week, or we could go from third to first in a game week. Like it really could go any way. So we really have to rely on our form to just propel us that extra next step. So which is why I do think that today's draw against Colchester is a real downer, because it has hindered our form. It has hindered our last 4 games wins in a row. But it isn't season defining as long as we don't let it be and we get Newport on Monday.
Yeah, I mentioned that it's all about the reaction and how the players react to this game. But what do you think that Ian Evatt will need to do to give them that lift? It's one disappointing result. It's not, as you say, it's not a season definer. So they've still got to remain confident. Look at this run. We're on 14 games now. So that alone will give them that confidence boost heading into the Newport County game.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's still an absolutely magnificent run. I don't think anyone's denying that. But I think the fact that we're on this magnificent run and we're still not entirely sure whether we're getting automatics or not just shows how poor we were at the beginning of the season, if anything. But yeah, I mean, the players have to work extra hard now because of where we were at the beginning of the season. And I do think they'll do it. I still believe. But like I said this last week as well, I'm a bit of a pessimist. I like to underestimate, so I'm pleasantly surprised. And I do think we do really have to be careful, because a few more draws here and there, and we could definitely see someone pipping us to third on the last day. But I win against Newport next week, and I win against some of the other big teams, because there's still lots of promotion 6-pointers left this season. In fact, there's so many left this season. It could literally go anywhere.
Speak a bit about the team selection today. Just the one change from the previous game with Arthur Ganua coming in for George Thomason. Obviously, it was his goal before Thomason, so a third change in 3 weeks. Just what do you think the mindset was with that change?
I think Evatt almost wanted to try something new, maybe, like, because Ganua hasn't started in the team in quite a while. So I thought he might try something new against what he could have perceived as a weaker opponent, almost a test run for Newport, maybe. And I mean, like I said before, I love the King. He's a great man, but the test didn't work. He just didn't. Nothing came off for him today. I don't think he offered much threat on goal at all. I don't think he offered much in the way of passing towards the final third at all. And I would rather had his glove on the field. To be fair, I think his glove. I think his glove can get the ball in. I don't think he's as big a threat in front of goal as Ganua is, but I don't think that's what we need when we have Burl on the pitch. Ganua usually thrives when he's with Miller up front in the die embers of the game. And so yeah, I don't think it worked. I do think that I don't think that's to discredit Ganua or Evatt. I just think it was just a bit unfortunate, and I do think Ganua should drop back out of the team for Newport, but I don't think we should criticise him too deeply, because I mean, he's won us the first few points this season that wouldn't be where we are right now without him.
Yeah, I suppose Ganu coming in as well. Obviously, Delfonso was changed out of his normal position through Ganu coming into the team. So did that affect Delfonso playing in that different role today?
Well, with Delfonso, you never know because he will just drift out of games and you won't notice what he's doing. Yeah, the entire front three just didn't really work today. I mean, and if the front three doesn't work, Doyle doesn't work because he relies on from that for that service from the attacking mids. So, and I do think there is still a bit of work in the attack to do. And yeah, I mean, Delfonso, like I said, he can bring in these moments of magic of the assist, the crucial pass. He does have that in his locker, but it's not consistent. It's not every game, and today was one of them days where it just wasn't there.
In terms of trying to pick the positives and pick a few players for man of the match today, Kieran Lee's definitely up there, and Declan John for me is the top two names. Santos and Baptiste didn't have a great deal to do, to be honest.
No.
Afolayan tried his best. He tried to hold the ball up, play people in, but he just wasn't getting the support. Doyle had a few shots away, but he couldn't get any clean contact on the crosses that were coming in. As I mentioned about Delfonso being dragged in and Ganua going out wide, Lee in it, MJ Williams again, he just does what he does, doesn't he? He puts those hard tackles in, looks to play in people, but it just didn't, as you say, it just didn't work today. I think against Newport, it'll be more of the formation and the style where we played again in the previous game, with perhaps Isgrove sitting in there. But we definitely need Delfonso, Afolayan and Doyle as the front three. That does seem to work best, as we did against Forest Green.
Yeah, like I would say Kieran Lee or Baptiste for man of the match today. I don't think Santos had as good of a game. There was a few sloppy passes here and there. I mean, you can't criticise him. It's the first few sloppy passes he's done in about 3 months. But yeah, so Kieran is my man of the match, but that's just because he did what he needed to do. And he can't carry a team by himself. And I don't think everyone else did what they needed to do today. I mean, we're awful. No one was bad. It's just that no one was that good either. It was a very average performance, and usually average performances lead to bad results like it did today.
So prior to the game, I know I mentioned it previously that a lot of Bolton fans were optimistic, to say the least. I mean, I was listening to Bolton FM before the game, and Derek was saying 3-0. A few of the lads in the studio were even saying 5-0. They were that optimistic about us winning the game. But do you think the players remained as optimistic that they could really put a shed load of goals into the Colchester goal today?
I think maybe too optimistic. Maybe it could have been complacency that caused a bad result today. It could have been, we don't know. But I do think that there is still a confidence in the camp, and maybe they go over egg today. But I do still believe that you wouldn't have knocked that. I don't think. I think Everts is a good enough man manager to be able to get the best out of them for the coming games as well, even despite today's results. So yeah, I just think that we do need to look ahead now and put this behind us, because it is a disappointing result, and was a pretty average performance that led to a bad result. But I do think we should be looking ahead now, because there's definitely nothing we can't do in this league. We can still get automatic promotion very easily, and we can still be champions rather easily.
In terms of taking the positives out of the game, 8 clean sheets now in 14 games. I know we didn't win the game, we didn't create loads of hats full of chances, but from that defensive aspect again, they've not really done a great deal anyway, but we've restricted them to no shots on goal whatsoever. So defensively, it was another impressive. I know there was a few tweets going in that we were playing it across the back four a bit too much. Maybe we did underestimate Colchester in that sense. But again, another clean sheet. So 8 in 14 is quite impressive.
Well, you know what they say, don't you? Like, if you get a clean sheet, you don't drop points. Well, you drop points, but you don't lose. um, yeah, so I mean, as long as we keep the clean sheets up, it's going to be hard for us to really drop too far behind. So we just need to keep the clean sheets going. I do think it is looking good. I think against better teams we've been punished today, but against better teams we might have played better. Um, I, I do think we need to. I do think we need to maybe criticise the defence a little bit this week because Colchester had too many chances than they should have done. But you can't complain too much with a clean sheet. I mean, and I know one record did come to an end today. The consecutive games with scoring was stopped today, which is a bit of a shame. But it's nowhere near as important as the unbeaten streak. So I think that keeps going on fine.
Yeah, so in the first half, we had that disallowed goal, which we'll show here to the Wanderers fans. So as we spoke there about the disallowed goal for offside against Owen Doyle, it was very, very fine margins. Ian Evatt was very disappointed with the decision after the game. Maybe he's not. He said he's looked at it once, but maybe the interview's done straight after the game, so he's maybe not had time to divulge in the actual decision. But it was harsh. Obviously, Declan John hitting the bar as well in the first half. Another terrific strike. He just shows that he's got so much to add to his game that he can not only defend, he can run at people, he's got a fierce strike on him. So yeah, he's showing his qualities. And he just gets better. He just gets better every week.
Yeah, it's good to see us finally at least get close to scoring a set piece. Because have we scored a free kick all season? I can't remember one.
I don't think so.
So it is good to see us at least hitting the bar from one. But yeah, I completely forgot about that for that free kick at the start of the game because the last 80 minutes was just so monotonous to get through, but that first 15 minutes was quite interesting with the bar hit and the disallowed goal. And yeah, maybe Evatt knows more than we do about the disallowed goal. Obviously, he could talk to people that were around the ground. Maybe they saw something we didn't from a different angle. But yeah, from our angle, I think it was a 50-50. I don't have much else to add to it than that. It could have gone either way on the day, and unfortunately went against us.
Ian Evatt said it a few times this season, James, that we've just lacked that killer instinct in the final third, and it came to fruition again today. We've had good moments of possession, great in midfield. It's just that final that it happened against Forest Green last week, where we didn't create anything hardly in the game, but we managed to nick the game 1-0 because we had a great finish from Owen Doyle, and that's just what we needed. Just that one moment of obviously we did do that in the game, but obviously it was disallowed for offside. But in a carbon copy of last week's game, which it looks identical. I know it wasn't a full volley, but it was. It just bounced down and he's lashed it into the net, and it takes that one opportunity to get you a win.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a bit more negative today than I usually would be, but in a way, you are right. It was literally just a carbon copy of last week's game, except we didn't score in the first 30 minutes like we did last time, or the first 40 minutes like we did last time. So it could have gone out. We could have won today if that disallowed goal. I mean, I have every confidence that disallowed goal went in. We would have saw that out for a nice 1 or 2-0 victory, but it didn't. And like you said, we're missing the killer instinct to score more, like a good amount of goals. I mean, if we went into that game today looking to score 4 or 5, I mean, we would have been absolutely fine. But we just don't. We can't be able to score lots of goals. I mean, I don't know what our biggest scoring game has been all season. I'm guessing it's a three goals in a game. Maybe Carlisle on Boxing Day, but yeah, I mean, we do definitely need to score more goals. I don't know how we get on with that, but I have every confidence Owen Doyle can do. I think it's more the service to Owen Doyle that needs improving. More specifically, the probably the middle behind him, the Delfonso position. I don't think it's strong enough without Sarcevic in there.
Straight after the game on the pitch, the club managed to catch up with the gaffer, Ian Ever. Thanks very much to the club for sending us this interview. So here it is.
Goalless draw against Colchester this afternoon. Is frustration the main emotion at the moment?
Yes, but purely because the standards we've set ourselves. You know, we've been on an incredible run, and that's another game undefeated, another clean sheet. And there's only really one team trying to win the game from minute one, and that's where first half, the first goal becomes vital. I think we scored a legitimate goal. Clearly was onside. We've watched it back. And those fine margins sometimes go against you, and today they have. Second half, we became a bit panicky. We became a bit disjointed at their spoiling tactics, really, the way they were slowing the game down, taking the time. And credit to them, you know, they had a game plan. They were happy with a point, and that just shows you how far we've come. But we just have to be better at what we do. And today, however you dress it up, we just had too many below par.
Yeah, what was it that frustrated you most about our own performance today? Was it just sort of that cutting edge?
Just that first goal, really. First goal, we had opportunities. It's not easy for a start when they're camping so many players behind the ball. It's not easy. But first half, we had opportunities to score and to get ahead in the game, and then the opposition have to change and they have to come out and try and get something back. And in that case, the space should be there for us to pick them off. But as I said, I can't be too hard on them because we've been on an incredible run, and it shows you how far we've come and the run we've been on, that we're disappointed today and we feel a bit flat. We just need to go and get the job done at Newport on Monday now.
Defensively solid again, I suppose, encouraging that we never looked like losing the game.
No, we didn't. As I said, there was only really one team trying to win. And the first goal, first half, would have made all the difference. We had chances, we hit the bar twice, we had one disallowed. And then second half, as I said, we just need to become better at what we do, keep believing, and hopefully the goal will come. But as I said, it's another undefeated game, it's another clean sheet, and we'll move on to Monday.
Yeah, when you pick the bones out of it and look at the positives, I suppose it's another game unbeaten on what is a fantastic run still.
Exactly, and you don't know how important this point may come at the end of the season. We're not going to have it our own way, that's for sure. We're not going to keep winning games freely and it be all plain sailing for the rest of the season. We're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have performances where some players were off key. Today that was the case, and it was the case at the top end of the pitch, really. We need more from those players. That's why they're in the team, to create and score goals. It can't always be Owen Doyle. But as I said, we'll dust ourselves down and go again on Monday.
So James, as the gaffer said there, he said a lot about the time-wasting tactics from Colchester. Obviously a legitimate goal disallowed, to his own words. And the players lacked a bit of self-belief towards the end of the game, not very hopeful that we'd managed to get the win. Just what did you think of what he had to say there?
Well, yeah, I mean, Everett does like a good moan about the opposition, and in a way, I do like that about him. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to have a bit of a laugh with and criticise. He does seem like one of the lads, and that's what I really like about him. If he won't go up this year, there's absolutely no question that we should keep him, just because I just really like him. He just seems like a proper bloke. And what you had to say about the time wasting, it is true. It is true. Teams shouldn't be time wasting, but I always take the position that if Bolton were 20th and we were 4 points off relegation and we were drawing with a team in third, I wouldn't be complaining about the time wasting for 20 minutes. So I always like to take that view. It's fair play to them. You've got to do what you've got to do. I can definitely see why Everett is annoyed about it. And so, yeah, I mean, on the day, yeah, maybe we lost a few seconds from time wasting, but yeah, in the end, it was just our unableness to score in front of net that cost us it.
So it's worth mentioning, James, you might have seen it on social media, guys, about the prize that the club have sent us in. They've sent us a limited edition programme from the commemorative anniversary of the Burnham Park disaster from the Cambridge game, signed by the entire Wanderers squad, which will be given away when we reach 1,000 subscribers. All you have to do is like the post on social media to enter. It's a fantastic prize. It's very good of the club to support us like this, to send us such a nice prize, considering we're a brand new channel, so that's great. So yeah, all you have to do is like the post on social media to enter that competition. We've also got a massive interview with Adam Le Fondre on Friday evening, which should be amazing, because obviously still now is looked upon as a Wanderers great, considering he was only a club 3 or 4 seasons and didn't play a great deal of games in terms of per season. He didn't make a great deal of appearances season on season, but he is much loved by the Wanderers fans for his goals and the way he treated the club and the way he respected the badge. So that should be great, James.
It just shows how much influence someone can have on a club from such a short time. I mean, it was a good season. It was a successful season, and we'll always remember them players for it. But we won't remember the players from the year before that. I mean, really. I mean, so that team will always be close to us. And I do like to think that this team that we're now, when we're being successful, will also always be with us in 5 or 6 years' time. So I do think it is a good thing for our club that we still remember these players that have been with us during more lucrative times.
I think he bought into the philosophy of the football club as well. Being a Stockport lad originally, he's from the northwest, so he knows Bolton Wanderers history, and obviously when we were in the Premier League and stuff like that, when he was playing for Reading at the time. So he knows about the history and how passionate the fans are about the club, and really bought into that philosophy.
Yeah. I'd like to think that most people know about the history of Bolton Wanderers because it is that massive. But but yeah, I mean, he was great for us. He was great for us at the time, and he's successful now. He's carried on his career very successfully, as far as I know. So it's fair play to him, and good luck with the rest of what he's got going on. And I'm sure you'll be excited to re-interview him next week.
Yeah, if any fans like yourself or anybody else have got any questions we'd like to put to Adam, within reason, of course, I've had a lot of tweets coming in saying, "Are you coming back, Adam?" I'm going to try and sneak that one in at some point, which should be interesting.
Of course, he's coming back. Every transfer window, he comes back.
So, obviously, coming up on Tuesday, straight after the match on Monday afternoon, we're back with another show about reflecting on the Newport game and hopefully talking about another Wanderers win.
Oh, hopefully. I mean, it's growing more necessary as the running shortens. We have to keep on getting these wins if we want to keep in the top 3 spots.
So I've had a few tweets in, James, after the game from Wanderers fans before we do call it a day. Firstly, about the offside. That was given offside. Harry BWFC 04 says he thinks it is Gethin Jones from Delfonso's touch that he's given as offside.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, there could have been a number of things that was wrong with that goal. I mean, there could be Doyle offside. There was a few players on that line. So from the camera angle we had as well, it was kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what was wrong with it. But I didn't see anything blatantly wrong. Yeah, it was definitely. It was a 50-50. I've said it before. I don't really know which way it was going to go. I don't think it was as bad as some of the referee decisions we've had this season.
Yeah, I've got another tweet here from Hayes FIFA. He says no quality whatsoever. I don't agree with that 100%, as the quality was there. It was just, I don't know, a bit of luck, a bit of that killer instinct that we lacked at the end of it.
I mean, I agree with him partially. There's no quality in the attack today. The defence and midfield, I think, it is quality. And I think they showed that again today, maybe at a lesser standard than our previous games. But the attack, Dapo was nowhere near as lively as it has been. Doyle, I mean, he didn't get his goal, which is all probably what he needs to offer to the game. Delfonso, once again, I didn't even notice him really doing that much at all. And Ganoa, he wasn't very good. Ganoa didn't lack quality.
Another tweet here from Nat Owens 97, which is a good point. It says Colchester played for a draw from the very first minute. I agree with that to an extent, but when they did enter the Wanderers box, they had quite a few corners, and when they did have the corners, they seemed to be putting 2 men on Santos, which I noticed, which sort of pulled him out of the equation.
Oh yeah, I mean, they had a lot of corners. I don't know. On another day, one of them could have gone in. I mean, I do agree they were playing for the draw. Any team would, given the difference in the standards. But they could have easily got the win on another day. They again, so could we. So we thought is all that matters is what happened.
Final tweet here from Big Johnny 58. He says, "I wish they would stop messing about with the ball at the back. We nearly came unstuck 2 or 3 times now." We can't really criticise the back 4 too much, James, because it's another clean sheet and we're very, very resolute defensively. So we can't really criticise. It's not a good result, we know, but it's another clean sheet, mate, and it's another decent enough defensive display.
Yeah, I mean, I think I might be in the minority thinking I like it when we're playing with the back. I think it shows that we're in control, we're calm, and I do think it shows a very professional manner. We pass it around the back, pass it through the midfield, get like a par passes and break through the defence. I really like it usually, but obviously we're only going to like it as long as we score at the end of the play. And today we didn't do that. That's why I couldn't see why people are annoyed today. I do think you'll be a bit silly to say, oh, we need to be hoofing it up. We need to be playing through balls right down the middle. I mean, we are still in League Two. We have to remember this. Like even the legend that is Kieran Lee's not be able to play an 80-yard through ball over the top for Owen Doyle to get a one-touch volley onto. It's just not going to happen out this league. So I do think these short passes is something that is accomplishable and is effective, but we need to be much better in the final third in order to make it worthwhile.
I think the tweet of this particular game week must go to BWFC Vision, who has gone through a tough time, and also I hope you're keeping well, mate, and watching the show. He says, our fans are embarrassing, just looking through Twitter. You'd think we just lost 12-0 and been relegated the way that fans were going on. I just found that absolutely hilarious, the way that he's right. He's bang on with the point that what you would have thought we'd been relegated and lost 12-0 the way that the tweets that I've seen. We've just got to stick behind the team. It's a draw. We've got another clean sheet, a point. I know it should have been 3, but results have gone our way, and it's irrelevant if we can beat Newport County on Monday. This result is irrelevant completely.
Yeah, I agree. I think I might have contributed to the negativity in the immediate aftermath of the game. I wasn't too pleased, but I've calmed down a bit now. Like, if we win at Newport today's absolutely no issue at all, because like I said before, if it was the other way around and a draw at Newport and a win at Colchester, I wouldn't have questioned it. I would have took it. So yeah, I do think people have to stay realistic. We've still won 4 of our last 5. We're still 14 unbeaten. We're still looking very good, and results have gone our way. But we just need to be. I do think we need to limit our expectations just a little bit. The idea that we're going to go the rest of the season unbeaten is probably wrong. Although, who knows? There's only 8 games left now, isn't there? So who knows?
Never say never, eh? Never say never.
Never say never. Yeah.
So yeah, that's another show wrapped up now. We're back on Tuesday, of course, with reaction to the Newport County game. Fingers crossed it's another 3 points for the Super Whites. And James, it's been great speaking to you again, mate, and we'll catch up in a few days. For the people at home, keep subscribing, keep liking the video. The support is just as important as the show itself, so we appreciate the support, and we'll see you in a few days. Thanks again, James.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for having me.
Lads, you should have seen them running. Asked them why and they replied the Bolton boys are coming. All the lads and lasses, smiles upon their faces, walking down the mighty road to see the burned-in aces. Oh, my lads, you should have seen them running. Asked them why and they replied the Bolton boys are coming. All the lads and lasses, smiles upon their faces, walking down the mighty road to see the burned-in aces. Lads, you should have seen them running. Asked them why and they replied the Bolton boys are coming. All the lads and lasses, smiles upon their faces, walking down the mighty road to see the burned-in aces. Oh, my lads, you should have seen them running. Asked them why and they replied the Bolton boys are coming. All the lads and lasses, smiles upon their faces, we're walking down the mighty road to see the burned-in aces.